Is it the puppet? If it's the puppet, I'm throwing the box away. Actually, I'm setting on fire and crushing it and putting it through a shredder. Generic Control in the Duck Goes. We're back with another FNAF game theory video. Today we're doing FNAF 6, What Was in the Box, which I believe up to the current day in 2022, we still don't know what's inside the box. So I'm not really sure what the series is going to be about, but you can check my reaction to the last video, which is actually his first video on FNAF 6, which I know absolutely nothing about FNAF 6 going into that video. I'll leave it right up there. Also give me a link down below in the description. Also going to be in a playlist on my channel with all of my other game theory FNAF videos, going in chronological order of when I've reacted to them. I've only ever played the first FNAF game, and it's been interesting. It's been very, very interesting. But FNAF 6 has been it's been, you know, the puppet got like contained by the, what was it, like Black Friday or something like that. I'm not really sure. I enjoyed that though, because you all know how much I dislike the puppet. But thank you so much for the support you show in these videos. Also today should have been an unboxing video with my best friend Kirby, which we have a PO box, or I have a PO box, and people like to send us stuff. So that video took over 8 hours for me to edit because it was over 40 minutes long, and some really crazy stuff were in it. So if you want to send me anything in the PO box, it's in the description. You want to send it, that'd be greatly appreciated. Right now we'll probably have 16 packages for the next unboxing, so it's absolutely insane. Thank you so much for the support you show these videos. I'll be streaming at 5 p.m. with my Pokemon White Nuzlocke. It's only the second stream I'm ever doing of that. I've never played past Gen 5, so it's gonna be interesting. Also, I've thought about making a video for like me just going through like IMDb's top 50 or 250 movies or whatever, and just be like, I haven't seen this, I have seen this, I haven't seen that. So I might do that in the near future. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. But let's go ahead and jump into FNAF 6, What Was in the Box. And also shout out to the patrons. They get the videos day early. But yeah, FNAF 6 has been interesting. The puppet was captured. Yep. People's like, what do you don't like about the puppet? It's the fact that it's like super like long and like it's like long and skinny, and like there's no way it could be a human thing. You know? Like, there's no way that could be a living thing.
Internet. Welcome
with those
to
like
Game
dimensions.
Theory in 2018, a show
That's
apparently
2022.
dedicated entirely to virtual boxes, loot box psychology, loot boxes as gambling, the treatise on the science of fictional cardboard boxes. It's like box episodes are the new FNAF episodes for the channel.
Oh,
milk them dry. Next episode should be on, I don't know, the orange box or
the orange box.
But in all
hey, I started Half-Life 1.
Its
also, I'll be at the
Fortnite
Invitational Raleigh that's coming up weekend. So if you see me, say something.
Digital
take a picture.
Box of the last
Don't
decade, FNAF 4.
I don't believe we know what's in the box. Still.
Now, last episode we started to explore the idea that FNAF 6 is all about tying up loose ends. That as the last game in the Purple Guy saga, Scott's goal is
apparently
to give us the information
there's like a whole
necessary
new
to
story
close
that
the
begins
book on this chapter in Freddy's story. But to me, as someone who has studied these games inside and out, if there was one question that needed to be answered in the final game, it wasn't how Michael Afton was able to become a living purple corpse through Remnant, or how Henry was able to create a device that could somehow simulate child body temperatures. I didn't even care so much about the timeline at this point. No, what I wanted answered
what's in the box? How much is in what's in the box worth?
Mystery of FNAF. What was in the box? Rewind back.
Every single time. Every single time.
Utterly wrecked everyone's understanding of this franchise. You beat the game, you get the iconic line of "I will put you back together," and then boom, a literal mystery box that would make the likes of J.J. Abrams proud. Accompanied by the lines, "Perhaps some things are best left forgotten."
Star Wars, right?
For now. But you know what? I never forgot. The fans never forgot. And I don't think Scott forgot either.
No,
so now,
no way. You don't just forget about that.
3 games and 4 books later, I think I'm finally ready to break open the locks and reveal what
how many
was
years has
supposed
it been
to be in
since
this
the
thing versus
FNAF 6?
what actually was in the thing. Because I have reason to believe that the contents of the box have changed 3 separate times. And that now, in the wake of FNAF 6, Scott has already shown us what is inside.
Is it the puppet? If it's the puppet, I'm throwing the box away.
FNAF 4 was released on July 23rd,
I'm setting on fire and crushing it and putting it through a shredder.
Box ending. Exactly 1 month later, August 24th, Scott made a post on Steam referencing a Halloween update for the game. An update where he had considered opening the box. Quote, I wanted to post some information about the upcoming Halloween update. I started off a few months ago with several ideas in mind for what I wanted to release, ranging from DLC to a new game
to opening the box.
More on that later, but now I've been working steadily and have a pretty clear vision going forward. And
interesting.
So why wasn't the box included as a part of that
talk
update?
about
Well, he
what
explains it later in
won't
the
be
post.
included, the
Quote
box.
again. Now, I want to talk about what won't be included, the box. You know, when I released the first game over a year ago, I was amazed at how quickly everyone found every bit of lore and story. Then the same happened with Part 2. Then Part 3 came out, and once again the story was uncovered by the community. But then I released Part 4, and somehow no one, not a single person found the pieces. The story remains completely hidden. I guess most people assume that I filled the game with random Easter eggs this time. I didn't. What's in the box? It's the pieces put together.
But no, wait,
the bigger question is, would the community
So he's saying we have all the pieces,
we
just haven't figured it out?
Remained elusive this time strikes me as incredible and special. A fitting conclusion in some ways. And
so what you're saying is nobody understands you.
Some things are best left forgotten forever.
So we're never going to know what's in the box.
In the month after the release of the game, disappointed that the mysteries were staying hidden, Scott had already changed his mind about what he wanted to do with this box. And I just gotta say, Scott, my man, you didn't even give me a shot at this one. You change your mind about a game's fundamental mystery in a month? I mean, in that amount of time, all I could do was release a rushed-out, retrofitted prediction theory because I was stuck in con season when the game was released. Give a theorist some slack, man. So that begs the question of what he originally intended to be in the box.
I don't know.
My theory,
the puppet,
toys, a badge, a hospital wristband, and a picture.
So it's a memory box.
Known as the Afton family. The only time we would ever see them truly happy in this franchise. Remember, FNAF 4 was meant to be the final game in the series.
Yeah, and here we are in
based
FNAF
on
6.
all the clues Scott left prior to the release of Sister Location, he absolutely intended for Freddy's to be a story told in the mind of a child. Maybe not so much in dreams, like Dream Theory would indicate, but perhaps in a coma or on the kid's deathbed. I mean, sure, let me be clear. Yes, there was absolutely a real-life string of murders informing this kid's visions, as evidenced by the puppet and the murder outside the restaurant. But I mean, look at what he just said in that Steam post. Most people assume that I filled FNAF 4 with random Easter eggs. I didn't. And now look at everything that lines up in this game. Toys that match the look and behavior of the toy animatronics. People getting shoved into suits by a guy hidden in shadows that would probably look like a murder to a young child. A boy carrying a balloon to inspire Balloon Boy. Bullies who wear masks that perfectly match the nightmares. Shadows that would literally inspire shadow animatronics. A mangled toy. The concept of a plush Bonnie that bites you. A child's phone and a child's fan to simulate the night guard desk. People walking around in animatronic suits like Springtrap. A grandfather clock like you would find in your home going off to signal the end of the night.
How many people have grandfather clocks in their home?
Do
you? Please let me know. I read every comment.
Scott still wanted us to figure it out, which is why on our October 5th, 2015 GT Live, Scott crashed the live stream, giving us explicit clues to figure it out. 4 games, 1 story, why is Toy Chica missing her beak, and what is seen in shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child.
Their mind
All 3 clues, again, pointing to the conclusion of some sort of coma theory, with the box containing the items alluding to that story. Toys and plushies to show where all the ideas for the animatronics came from. A badge to show that this kid's father worked at the restaurant as a security guard. A hospital band to make it clear that the child was rushed to the hospital in the aftermath of the Fredbear bite, and a happy family that we see shattered in the aftermath of a stupid prank. This box is locked and hidden away in an basement when the child dies.
Your trauma, bottled up trauma,
are too tough to bear. But the
I don't
line
know.
of
I
would the
have no
community
idea.
accept it that way
Probably
is the
not.
key phrase in all of this. Scott knew that the story, as he envisioned it, would be controversial
Are we ever gonna know what's
for
in
a
the
fan
box?
base that was literally comparing shades of purple across the series. He had a solution to the story that he wanted
Twitch
to tell,
purple over
but
there.
was now trapped by his own success. People were too interested in his mystery box, which is why Sister
everybody loves
Location
mystery
and
boxes.
everything afterward emphasized more real-life events, scoopers and remnant and literal purple people walking around outside.
corpses.
But before he got to that point, there was one other course correction. FNAF World, the pimply-faced puberty of the franchise. The game that, also like puberty, everyone wants to forget, including Scott himself.
Wait,
And it was
really?
here
You
that
didn't like
Scott
it?
tried to unveil the mystery of the box a second time. If you played through the game normally, you would never see any connections to the box. You would just play through
What
this
in the
bizarre
world? Are those,
fever
like,
dream of an RPG
gear
and then
rats?
finally kill Scott Coffin himself as the final
You
boss
kill
of the game.
Scott?
Yeah,
Bro,
in case
what?
you skipped over FNAF World, Scott is one of
I
the
didn't play
final
it.
bosses and complains about how obnoxious the fans of the series can get. It is strange, it is
Wow.
funny, certainly meta,
That's-
and most undeniably passive-aggressive. Anyway, if you linger on
Because
the
every
opening
character just
dialogue
wants-
between your character and Fred,
Kai
you
of the
unlock a hidden
Akihiko?
quest that lurks beneath the surface of the game that was undoubtedly meant to tie into the mystery of the box. We're told that the quest requires us to, quote, leave breadcrumbs for him to help him find his way.
Who's him?
The him we're helping is FNAF 4's bite victim, and we know this from the opening
Breadcrumbs?
dialogue.
Well, I guess not
Quote,
physical breadcrumbs.
Something has gone wrong. That's why I'm here. But I won't let the same happen to you. I will put you back together.
How you gonna
The
do that?
classic FNAF 4 line.
You can't
so
fix me.
Infuriatingly vague. Anyway, that line confirms that the you being talked about here is the bite victim, that the something has gone wrong is referring to the bite itself, and that the yellow eyes doing the talking, the one who is trapped is the puppet. From here, your secret quest is to find a series of clocks and complete mini-games that directly relate to the steps necessary to unlock FNAF 3's happiest day
What is going
ending.
on with
You push Balloon Boy into a box, you press 4 arcade buttons, you set up 4 cupcakes, etc., etc.
Wow.
And if you do everything
Interesting little
correctly,
game.
your secret ending reads as follows.
It does look like the
Quote,
puppet's eyes.
We're still your friends. Do you believe that?
No.
The pieces are in place for you. All you have to do is find them.
Nope.
And we know from FNAF 3 that
Nope.
the pieces are indeed found. On the cutscenes between nights, we find the clues that FNAF World left for us hidden in
Which
the hallway,
are-
telling us to do things like double-click Balloon Boy and collect the
Oh,
4 cupcakes,
BB,
which then
okay.
enables us to complete the glitched minigames and release the spirits once and for
Bro,
all. But the
how
important
do
line
you
of this
just
FNAF World ending is the pieces
figure
are
this stuff
in place
out,
for
like,
you. A line
I'm
that
sure it's in the
very
code or
intentionally
something.
mirrors the language Scott used to describe the contents of the box in the first place. What's in the box? It's the pieces put together. And if you think that this is just a linguistic coincidence, it's not.
No, there's
Remember,
no way.
Scott doesn't do coincidence, because
Apparently
here's
not,
the real
no.
shocker. While trolling through the game's texture files, Reddit user Poi2010-201,
The texture
or at least
files.
his was the earliest post that I could find discussing this discovery, found that FNAF 4's box was actually hidden in FNAF World's
Where?
code. But it wasn't just the box,
God.
it was a texture of the box, unlocked and opened. So, for a second time,
So,
we
he
clearly
was
see that
going
Scott
to
had
have
plans
it.
to reveal what was inside his
But
mystery
he
box.
didn't,
Which
but
then
he
begs
just
the
left it
question,
in.
what was in it this time? And honestly, it's hard to say. As you can probably tell, FNAF World played with the lore of the main series in some very unusual ways. For
Apparently.
instance, the clock quest showed that this weird, self-aware video game world was somehow able to influence the events of the real world, leaving breadcrumbs in the real world that you would be able to follow in FNAF 3.
I'm pretty sure
But
those are
because the game ends
croutons,
with
but
the line,
okay.
"The pieces are in place for you to follow," it implies that the guard we're playing as in FNAF 3, the one who is actually finding these clues, was the bite victim, which then opens up an entirely different
Why would you
can
go
of
back to work
worms.
there?
And if it's all true that the puppet is stuck in this weird nebulous FNAF world,
like
then
it.
the world of the game is literally or symbolically limbo or death. Anyway, it's very messy.
What?
If I were to guess, Scott planned on FNAF World, the game actually being the box. A game that literally contained all the pieces of this franchise put together. Yeah, it's a bit symbolic and half-baked, but, you know, so was FNAF World.
Ooh,
But it was
got him.
here that the mystery would change direction yet again. This time, though, it wasn't the community that prompted the change, but rather Scott himself,
What does
who
Scott
made it clear that he was
do?
dissatisfied with FNAF World as a rushed and unpolished release.
Okay.
Embarrassed by the game, he
Then why did-
quarantined it off to its own little segment of the franchise.
Oh.
And in the
Kinda like a
process, he
spin-off thing.
retconned its story to focus on the new, more human drama-esque direction
With
that the
baby
series would
killing-
take moving
was
forward.
it-
You
it was
can
Henry,
see this
right?
actually through creative changes like the game's new ending, which revealed Henry and Baby for the very first time, as well as some lines that got added between updates, with glitched Fredbear
before
foreshadowing
update?
something terrible coming, aka Baby.
What, the
Instead of
White
being
Walkers?
focused backwards on details from previous games
Get
like
out of here.
Bite Victim and the FNAF 3 minigames, the game was now looking forward to a game that had yet to be released,
Sister
which
location.
left the box and the resolution
Still
it
locked.
promised for the entirety of the Freddy story once again abandoned. And when both Sister Location and FNAF 6 rolled credits with no
But
mention of
there's-
boxes,
there's
that's
FNAF 7.
exactly
There's other
where it
games.
seemed like it would
We still
stay,
don't know. When does
forgotten
FNAF end? Maybe
forever.
it's gonna be like a
I'm also
movie thing.
convinced,
Like, you have to
for
go
as
to the movie to
convoluted
find out
as
what
the
it's in the
story
box.
often is, Scott cares too much
don't know.
about it, and cares too much about this community to leave a mystery this big unanswered.
Which means we're
When
not
I
done.
first thought about connecting the box to the new game was Candy
It's
Cadet, the
Scott's
best
box,
character
not
to ever
Schrodinger's.
come out of this franchise.
Candy, candy, candy.
If you visit Candy Cadet enough times and give him enough tokens, he'll tell you one of 3 separate stories, all
What?
sharing the same general theme of 5 objects merging into one object and then
Oh?
being put into a box. In the first, 5 keys are melted together into one
So
key
maybe
by a
it's
mother trying to save imprisoned kids, with everyone dying trapped in
Maybe
their own
it's a
room.
solution?
The second
Maybe
has
that's how
5
you end
kittens
everything?
in danger of being eaten alive by a snake, the remains of which get sewn together and stored in a shoebox. And the third,
That's Schrodinger's cat.
The third is the most uplifting story, as 5 orphans get adopted by a man who wants to protect them from a burglar, and it doesn't go so well.
He left one day to buy food, his heart being filled with gladness, but returned to find that the burglar had chosen his home, and killed all 5 of the children.
So I have guns.
The man could only afford one coffin, so he stitched the 5 bodies together to make
That's a
one,
box.
and buried the child. That night, there was a knock at the door.
Wait.
So clearly, the Candy Cadet stories were making some connection to boxes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But what did all these stories mean? Characters getting stitched together immediately
Death.
made me think of Ennard.
Lots of
but even
dying
at Ennard's
things.
peak, he only had 4 characters inside of him: Freddy, Foxy, Ballora, and Baby. So that one didn't quite work
No.
out. Famously, there were 5 children killed as a part
Yeah.
of the missing children's incident, but their souls individually ended up in animatronics rather than being put together and crammed in the
Maybe-
same box. There are 5 other games in
maybe
the
Five
series,
Nights at
so
Freddy's
maybe this
is
is
the
all a
box.
meta commentary about the franchise itself, but then what would it mean to stitch them together? Just solve the story? Were the stories fixating on different moments of the Freddy timeline? Suffice it to say, Candy Cadet led me straight to a dead end. A dead and stitched together end, that is. I gotta say,
Yikes.
I scoured the game. I knew the box was
Maybe
in here
the
somewhere,
box
and I
is Five Nights at
suspected that
Freddy's,
Candy Cadet
like
was
the
involved
actual
in
building.
some way, but I was so overwhelmed with information at this point. Clues whirling past me, vague mini-games and stories that had no concrete answers.
Maybe it has
Details
some,
of
like,
games
deeper
upon
meaning, you know,
games,
like, maybe
cut,
it's
unused content. The
your
box
trauma.
needed to be some solution that brought together all of these separate pieces. And then finally, the storm cleared and it all clicked. The final image of the game. During the true
Okay.
ending, Henry calls
What is that
in
supposed
to
to be?
unveil his trap.
You have all been
Trap.
called here. Into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit. A maze with no prize.
We
Oh,
then see the
great.
schematics of the ventilation system we've been
Which is
working
a
with
loop,
throughout
which
the
is
entire
a
game.
closed circuit.
We see it for a long time as the center square, the actual pizzeria filled with kids, fades away. And what we're left with is a familiar shape. A box. A rectangular box. A locked box.
Okay,
A
that- he
box
might be
with
reaching
no
here.
Exit. A box where
Might be a little bit
according
of a
to our
reach.
responsibilities in paragraph 4, we put all the pieces together by salvaging the remaining animatronics, playtesting the minigames for all of the hidden lore,
What?
and finally bring the FNAF storyline to its end once and for all.
What?
As we bring this story to a close, what did Scott finally decide to do with the box? He made it Henry's trap in FNAF 6 to lure the final pieces together and finish
burn
it
them
off
all.
once and for all. Like Candy Cadet told us over and over again in its 3 stories.
5
the box
things
is filled
become
with
one.
5 dead things becoming one. 5
Yep.
children killed, sewn together, and buried in one coffin.
can
5
only afford
dead
one
kittens,
coffin, but how he
sewn
was gonna
together
have-
and kept
have
in one
5
shoebox.
kids?
5 keys
How
melted
can you afford
together
5 kids if you can only
and
afford
forged
one
in
coffin?
room. And in our case in FNAF 6, 5 animatronics trapped in one pizzeria simulator and
burned to the
And
ground.
this works any way that you count it. Baby, Springtrap, and Molten Freddy, who we know according to his blueprint has 3 animatronics in him.
Oh,
thus
that
making
counts as 5.
Or you can count it Baby, Springtrap, Molten Freddy, Puppet, and our character who we play as Michael. 5 characters,
Oh.
all essential to the FNAF story brought into one box
So
to
either
die.
way.
Even Henry himself has a role here in the Candy Cadet stories. He's the innocent of those stories. The one who
Innocent?
started with good intentions, who ultimately fails to protect those under his care.
Yeah.
He's the mom who lets the kids burn. He's the kid who leaves the snake's cage open.
Oh.
It's Henry's negligence that allows the snake, the burglar, William Afton, to claim so many
Oh.
lives. We hear him lament this in the insanity ending.
It's only
Okay,
now
now,
that I understand
also
the
that
depth
straw.
of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create.
This was Scott's subtle nod to the box in FNAF's final
maybe.
game. The way to work
Final
it
game-
in
it's not
after
the final
all
game.
the twists and turns his story had to take over the years.
Hopefully,
Was it what he
I'm definitely
originally
gonna be
intended
caught up
for
with the
it?
game theory.
Absolutely not. Is it
FNAF
the most
videos before the movie
obvious
comes out.
explanation? Not by a long shot. But when you consider that this animatronic empire started as one big unexpected twist in Scott's life and was then
Yeah,
fueled by a
'cause it
story full of
wasn't really
not so
planned.
obvious narrative moments, having the box end up being a symbol for the franchise's final climactic moment, it Feels right. If I can borrow from Scott's original description,
is it true?
feels special. A fitting conclusion. And with that, there's only one theory left.
Or maybe
to
this
go.
is the final one
analysis
for
I
this,
promised for Midnight
like,
Motorist and the mystery of the
for this
Lorekeeper
group.
Graves. 2 questions that close out these games for what feels like the final time, but begin to point towards what the future might hold for the Freddy's series.
Yeah.
More on that soon.
Oh, God.
Not next episode, since if I do more than 2 of these things in
Yeah,
a row,
probably.
people get really mad at me, but definitely
Really?
soon, since
Why
I
did
want
they
to put
get-
this thing to rest as much as you guys. I could use, at the very
People
least,
get-
a complete
how many
refresh
views?
on this whole thing and start from
12 million
scratch
views.
again. So
Yeah, okay.
ring the bell to ensure that we all close out the Freddy saga together. And in the meantime, remember
it's
that's
just a theory.
just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for
The smartest
watching.
show in gaming. Okay, I guess there's going to be nothing there. There's going to be a new video out next Wednesday. Like I said, I'll be live streaming today. And also should have been an unboxing video on Best Friend Kirby, which the things that we opened up in that is insane. I spent over 8 hours just editing that video, just trimming it down. It was a 40-minute long recording that I trimmed way down and made it concise and add some edits and stuff like that. Lots of great things were sent by some wonderful people. But I don't really believe this. Like, I don't know if the series is true or not. I like my theory where it's kind of like the game itself is the box, kind of. Like, maybe it is memory boxes. Like, it is a memory box, but instead it, like it has different chapters of your life, like your bottled up trauma or whatever, or it gets thrown in the box. Like, the box is a symbol for something. There's no, like, physical box, but it just kind of shows, like, the things inside the box has created this world inside your head that torments you, maybe? I don't know. That's just a theory, and I'm not even sure if it's a game theory. It's just my theory. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you back for the next one. Remember, patrons get it a day early. Literally $3 a month get you all my reaction videos a day early. I'm actually about to start Attack on Titan Season 2. Episode 1 should come out on Friday. So the patrons get it on Thursday. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. But until next video, take care, and cue the music.